isn't enough for two teams there.
Oh, I already saw, I think it was Brazilian Crusaders in one of the Reddit threads that are saying that they weren't going to leave, so let's see how that all plays out as things continue on. I mean, they could have just been, you know, speculating as things continue. But regardless, we have game number 44 on the way, and we are switching gears, shifting, turning around, and we're going to be going to Miramar here for our last two games of the day here for the PUBG Europe League. Sims, Demon, have at you ×2.
Yes, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Match 44, week 3. It's been a long old road to get here, but we're moving on to Miramar. And it is a plane cutting across from the northeast down to the southwest, which will give a relatively decent drop path for just about everybody involved. We'll probably see Na'Vi make an adjustment, maybe go in Parlor, but that's about it. Everybody else can kind of get and stretch their wings and go to where they need.
Yeah, when you cut through a map like this, straight down the middle, it just opens up all the home positions, allows everyone to go to the normal loot locations, get the gear that they want. They have the time to prepare for that circle.
Ooh.
If you really wanted to go into specifics.
Valadomar, maybe? Now, remember, I was going to say, remember we had CrowCrowd go there last time as well.
Yeah. They've lingered around there before, but I don't think they'll do it this time round. But no, if you really want to go into extreme specifics, you could say somebody like Na'Vi will have a slower advantage compared to Regi Reg, who have already got the boots on the ground in Cruz de Val and are already gearing up. It all comes down to where this circle lies, though. We don't know where it's going to come in. It could fly anywhere across this map. It's one of the more... You get off to a good game if you get a decent flight path like this. The circles then become the next obstacle like any other game, but certainly a decent flight path stands for a much better game and puts your team in a much better position compared to Erangel. We spoke about it time and time again because it's really rough terrain. Even if you've got the vehicles, the rotations here are an absolute killer in themselves.
Well, while we've got a little time, we're just waiting for the... Oh, hello.
There we go.
Hello. And it actually leads to the point that I was just about to say. We had a discussion last week talking about Western circles.
Yes, and I'm still... Well, I mean, you can kind of see it here. It's that entire Western ridge. It acts as basically water. You can't get up there. It's fully denied. There's no ground you can stand upon. And you have that gap even behind the road. All right, you'll have a couple of compounds and such, but there's nowhere else to go but forward. So you always tend to find that team set up pretty much from Trailer Park. There's a ridge that runs all the way down, curves around where you see Uber, and Mexican goes down to exactly where Na'Vi is. So pretty much 50%, maybe 40% you can say is no man's land. You get a couple of rotations that run through there now. We've had 3 circles end in and around this one. We've had one just outside El Pozo. Both MPL and the PEL have had it almost in the identical position, just in that field. And then again, same with MPL and PEL, ending around the same, just below Monte Nuevo. NPL's had the longest ones that I've seen so far, which is actually on the road, on the opposing side, which I think is potentially where we saw, I think it might have been Nip make a last stand up on that hillside. But Le Drilla is where we've seen FaZe pick up a win,
yeah.
And they pretty much, it was kind of gifted to them for the simple fact that they were in there start to finish.
Well, I mean, they had to fight a number of teams off the hill, but yeah, they were in that position. Now, I wonder where teams are going to look towards this one, because it almost goes back to what we just had with the Mill to Power circle, right? It's like, where do you figure out your central point? Because if you were to sit center, well, you kind of sat on the road that's right next to the border. Well, we know that it's going to pull away from there. So then where do you think? Do we think where maybe Uber's sat right now? Which is just sort of north of Monte Nuevo. There's a whole plethora of compounds sort of between Monte Nuevo and El Pozo that I guess a lot of these teams are going to be looking for.
Certainly, and I think this is kind of... It's difficult to say. I mean, there's a few of them that might rotate late and go north, maybe even pushing Trailer Park, to be honest with you, to really...
Keep your eye on ENCE. See whether ENCE do their northern swing again. I reckon they will.
Up and round?
Yeah, up and round. It's something they've done. They'll come in sort of north side of El Pozo.
The thing is, though, they wouldn't be, in their mind, they realise where the flight path is, and they realise that, again, if they are looking forward, and that's kind of what these players have to do in this game, understand that the Jokers will be in their hometown, Regi Reg will be in their hometown. You kind of called it, and it was perfect how you mentioned it last time. I think it was last week. And then bam, they literally hit Oasis and then came in. But there is only really 2 rows on that northern edge, unless you go through Crater, which would be very obscure, but still an open point.
I'm going to wait. I'm almost certain they're going to do it. Because the difference is, right, obviously the fact is they're on the east side. To get over to where they are, they have to go through Vitality, Team Liquid, the Knights, possibly Red Diamonds. They know that it's going to be clustered there. You know, even maybe NIP and TSM if they sort of come down. Whereas if they just play it safe, which is what I believe they'll do, they'll go right around the north. They won't worry about the Joker's Rage because they'll already be gone before they get there because it's going to be such a slow rotate. They'll be coming out of the blue.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Hey, you know what? Looks like they're going south.
Yeah, I think for this one, it's probably going to be just a little bit too late. And because there's only... I mean, we could say even about the south. You basically got to pick a polar opposite end, and either way, one of them's going to be in a lot of trouble. I suppose if you look towards the south...
I know why.
Go on.
They noticed that Na'Vi didn't go Impala. Because they've been long dropping. They had to long drop to where they were because the plane path sort of came across here. They've had a drop a square. They know CrowCrowd and M19. They saw them going Los Leones and they realized there's nobody else going long. So we have the entirety of the south side free.
I still think Raise Your Edge will be in the back of the mind as well, that they're going to be lingering. And they are a late team.
G2 are definitely lingering. They've still not left Azahar yet.
Na'Vi, though, is on your screen. They're smack bang plumb center. They have to hope that this goes their way, though, because in committing to this central position they have done on the main road, they are downwind of everybody. They also have that mountain range behind them, which basically puts them in a bottleneck. They've committed to that, and they need to hope that it does somehow go their way, because they are now basically in a choke point between a brick wall and FaZe Clan.
I'm somewhat surprised to see Red Diamonds going south side of Monte Nuevo. They tend to normally go north, or at least go a 2-2, but I think they're looking to fend off Digital Athletics, who have also done a similar path before. Team Liquid on the way through. ENCE heading south. They're going south side. Thriftly, did you just ditch it, or did you see something you fancied in there? I don't know. Here's D8. They've come in. They've had a first, second, and third on Erangel. Let's see if they can continue that pattern. Fourth place. I think they'll be happy with that. They're collecting a lot of points today.
They're having a good day. I mean, currently they're standing in first for the day overall. They're having a blinder, and they're not really jumping up too many positions, you know. And again,
they got a long way to go.
This is the problem. Yeah, you've left it until the last week to really show your full skill set, and now the pressure's on.
They started to show something last week, though. I mean, that's where they started to pick up the wins, and they got 3 wins now. It's starting to definitely collect the points, but they've just lacked that consistency over time.
That car's smoking.
He's lost his tyre as well, his front left tyre. So I think it was M19 that did the damage to him there, but Vitality looks like they're so far out as well. That's only on the edge of Picardo.
It is, but if one person sees that, I mean, thankfully there's no real enemies directly in front of them. They might get away with murder and probably opt to change cars as well, unless they play this one clever and turn and face and say, you know what, there's a team that's just shot at us, so let's wait for them to come in. Raise Your Edge have done the northern swing. And ENCE have proved you wrong and taken the south.
Yeah, they've gone full south. I said they probably realised Na'Vi were not down there, so they've gone deep south. And actually, you know, we can see the map. It's a completely the right play right now. It's perfect.
How have Liquid been gifted Monte Nuevo this late?
They've gone into north side. Red Diamonds went south side, and Team Liquid have kind of committed to north side, not like fully committed. I think there's that little compound. Yeah, they're just on the edge of it, which I can see one sitting on the Dig. M19 coming in. Did take the shots on Vitality, as you said, and then they're going to get caught by the camp, so they're going up towards Power Grid. Digital Athletics, they've decided this is not going to work out. They've left 6-Mo still, by the way, south of Monte Nuevo. They've gone for a split here. So Mert and Iro gone around to this compound. It's a compound they've played a couple of times before this on this same circle setting.
It will be while you're watching all these fights, just start to pick and poke at one another and warn each other away. You'll see down at the bottom, ENCE are playing late game. It's a very split play as well. Again, if Rustamar goes down, he'll be able to feed the information. They can reposition. It's an emergency backup plan. They are currently top of the table. They don't want to be going out extremely early on. They want to keep that presence away. Just so you're aware, in the north, we do have G2 and Raise Your Edge. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm seeing tracer fire from Raise Your Edge. They're shooting from outside of the blue. Now, if I'm a team like G2, I'm powerful, I'm clever, and I'm not scared of anybody. Maybe Raise Your Edge got a bit overzealous there. Now, maybe G2 says, okay, well, you can shoot us. I ain't a problem. But we'll happily shoot back and set up some sort of entrapment for you, which you might see, and if they do, then I would say it's going to happen. Brexico and Chris potentially just follow them along that ridgeline and block them from coming in.
Well, the circle, it centres up, but of course, with that centre, it does still leave a large portion of the map completely cut off, I would say, when 20% plus still off there. we were talking about where is the center spot, and obviously now it's that hillside. Team Liquid going for it already. There is that compound on top of the hill, but it's a tricky compound to hold. Not too sure if they want to commit to it. No, they're not. They're going to stick with the one on the roadside, and that's why we're not seeing anyone still going for this compound, because it is a very hard position to try and hold because there's too many hills around you.
So let's say that I've been working this weekend looking at these circles, and let's say I'm right. Let's say that hillside acts as water. You're not going to go to a point on the western side where it's going to be. You can't. Literally, the circle will not end on a position where there's no map and terrain that you can access. So in theory, this circle goes towards upwards, maybe northeast, El Pozo way. Then we've seen with circles they shift away from cities. So this, we could probably say now, maybe the fields are where Winstrike is already on the map. That's what I'm going to... If theory goes right...
ENCE win it in the circle, if I remember rightly, right?
Yes, because they were waiting on the edge for everyone else just to die, basically.
And Ibiza in the hay bales. Yeah, pretty much where the Knights are in NIP at the moment, so they could be golden.
And they've had both in 2 leagues, we've had exact same spot, literally in those fields.
Yep. We'll see whether it goes that way.
I mean, it could completely hard shift up to the north, right, and just sink its teeth just left of El Pozo, yeah.
TSM made a big move, by the way. They've gone all the way around to the north side of El Pozo now, so they've decided to run it right around the western side. Red Diamond's closing in. Iroh, oh, I'll tell you what, a nice nade here could be big, but he's going to have Senpai, who just was the highest damage dealer in the last game. Yeah, shot in the back by Na'Vi. Oh, God, he's completely exposed.
He's got the smoke down at least. Drayden, you just hear a bullet fly past somewhere. Where did that one come from? Okay, that were the across the compound. So clearly he's just stuck his head up, had a quick peek. I tell you what, it's really, really scary. All the members of the Knights can snipe. Like, this is one of their maps. We always see someone like Wookie Bookie having a go and really going off on open territory, but all of those players can do so much damage. It's freakishly scary.
Iroh trying to take them on here. He's separated from the rest of his team with Mert already down on Digital Athletics. They kind of went for this 2-2, and it's not really working out. Pokemolde really trying to get that angle on Iroh there, isn't he?
ENCE are finally making an entry into the circle.
Oh, they're coming in behind.
You know what? They might, unfortunately, hit the Red Diamonds head on.
He's just slowly driving it up there,
The car's just acting as bait. Hear me roar. Oh, there we go. Okay, time to run.
Squeak it.
Turn around, boys. That was a bad accent. I won't be doing that one again, but basically gives the information, says, okay, well, we know where a team is now. We can get set up and they can hold back. They'll find the compound over the road completely empty. Yeah. So for them, it's just stay alive. And this is what you expect to do. If you're playing this late into a circle, you're playing for survivability and placement. Yeah,
I think there'll be a lot of people surprised that large warehouse compound north of Monte Nuevo is completely exposed right now. It's where Team Liquid were. They've left it. They've gone up the hillside, sort of almost flanking around FaZe a little bit with the 2-2. We've seen where FaZe are right now. We've seen so many big fights on this hill. Yeah, this hill here has had so many deaths.
Ooh, okay. So now in theory it should.
That's a big shift.
It will move away from that mountainside. So either goes central.
Monte Nuevo edges is where you want to be right now, and that compound that Team Liquid have just left, are FaZe going to get to it first? They are. Team Liquid have just abandoned these buildings, and FaZe are going to go straight back into them, I think. Are they going to go past? No, Fuzzface will pull up, and Team Liquid have just been, well, completely caught out of position because they went to the hills, which was theoretically the right move.
A really good position, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, we're not at a point where it's unobtainable play. You know, it's still up there is the cliff, and it will keep moving away from it to knock it out. So in theory, it's going to go to the west.
It's going to pull right, which is where FaZe is now. Could be the next center circle.
Well, we've got a couple of teams that are already banking on that point, but again, Red Diamonds have to move. They're going to be the ones that are going to be up against it, because if the circle does go against them, they'll have to go across that road, and Na'Vi are literally just waiting with open arms. You've got Iroh that'll deny them any kind of northern maneuver.
Okay, so where are the Knights? Where are NIP going to go? They're out far on the western side right now. Monte Nuevo has M19 in it. There is space for probably another, maybe 1 or 2 teams, which is, I guess, where the Knights are going to have to crash into south side. Oh, God,
so many teams are coming in. Look at them all. Knights, NIP, TSM. You can't see this, but on the map at the moment, they're all just going for a huge migration down south.
Yeah, there's the Knights. There's NIP coming in behind him. You can just see on the minimap TSM also. They're all making this run for the hills. Now, the Knights, they're still going to have to come in. They've gone quite far, actually, out to the west and pulled up just to have a scout, just to have a look. You can see Kramer and Voxic, up on the hillside, having a little look. Kramer's going to say, yeah, all clear, let's go. But NIP have blasted in straight ahead of them. Will they be able to get in safe territory and take the shots? You can see they come in, they do. VOD manages to get reels down. And that was effectively the Knights playing it safe. And NIP just said, we can't afford it, we've got to get in now.
Trading with a K98, watching the off angle. Kramer wants to get up close and personal. Groza in hand suggests that he has the level 3 gear on as well. I'm pretty sure I saw a silencer for that bad boy. That'll give you the 5% deviation if it was for the ARs. Memory serves me right. It is. It's the only muzzle attachment you can put on the Groza. It's a big boy gun, 7.62, and one of the most powerful ARs in the game. So if he gets into here and really digs his teeth into NIP, he could do a hell of a lot of damage. Imagine if Drayden manages to catch a face or two as well.
All right, so theoretically, where they are now could well be the edge for the next circle. We'll see, though, because it could certainly push edge towards the north or the south side. We know it's going to pull away from the west, though. We'll see where this circle shifts out to. It does, I'm pretty sure, mean these teams we're seeing on your screen are going to have to make a move.
It's going to be crunch time no matter where you go. I mean, we can watch it unfold and see
62
where people...
alive still.
Yeah, this is cruel. Bump, it does. It pulls away from the mountainside.
It's actually sent it up fairly much.
No idea how Red Diamonds have managed to survive that one.
Yeah, they're still sitting pretty, and knowing that their back is completely clean.
Yep.
They don't have a worry. They just need to look towards it. A team that's benefited from this is FaZe Clan. Iro could really do with joining his teammates now, because the compound he's in is almost certainly going to get pushed by one of those northern teams.
The team that really needs to get their act together and really pull back is Liquid, in my opinion. Jimbo's got the top of the hill. Samty's off on his own, and Ibi and Jempty are pushed forward. They're completely split up.
I believe the phrase is "wind the necks in."
Okay, yeah. Well, get yourself together.
Oh no! What just happened?
ENCE stole the last one.
Well, they tried to push in, and an elite player in the Wanderer just lit them up. NIP pushing in the backs, tried to secure what they could, but they now need to do. They just saw the Knights get crushed there.
How did ENCE see him from there? That was Kramer with all the level 3 gear on.
It's got to be high.
That's a wild angle.
VOD hits the dirt. He's so low, but NIP still got to push down on towards M19, and they got reinforcements coming in. Meanwhile, the hillside, south side, his face is safe, but the north is an absolute cluster. G2, Jokers, Winstrike, Team Liquid, TSM, Vitality, all moving in. TSM moving in on FaZe Clan. M19 have got NIP pushing on the side here. Gaxi will get flushed down. Ruku comes in. He tries to fall through, but immediately gets slapped down by elite player who's putting the damage down. They've got one in the house. MBS peeks around, gets the knockdown. The rest of the team have to get involved as MBS goes hunting.
He can't go for any more knocks. He needs to potentially... I don't think...
He's flushing, he's getting as many points as he can.
That's what I was trying... I thought that was his teammate crawling upstairs, so now he just has to kind of mop up. He might have been lucky here. M19 have actually got scared. I'm surprised they didn't
Vitality have dived in. Vitality have dived onto FaZe Clan. Uber's caught one, Uber's caught two. Jazza down, Nasus down. Vitality, they tried to come over the road. TSM are doing the same now. Onto FaZe Clan, you can see they're pushing back around. Gustav gets caught out while this is happening. Raise Your Edge and Na'Vi also clashing on the western side while FaZe keep TSM at bay. Now Iro's getting pressure. I was talking about him in that compound on his own. He's solo versus Raise Your Edge.
They will flood him out. Uber continues the work onto Vitality. Ira goes down, Shadow goes down. And again, Vitality, 15th position. They decided to try and push onto FaZe Clan. They hit the back of it. They then got caught between Team Liquid. TSM did some damage to them. Kane now moves on to Liquid. Jimbo, I said he was up there on his own, and he's now been removed from that power play position as all the rest of Team Liquid. Actually, they're still split. Samty's still out on his own. Liquid should have got together.
M19 is just trying to collapse onto NIP, but the Northern Hills, G2, like you say, trying to come around. Winstrike trying to do what they can onto G2. Oof. That nade gone out. Is it big enough? Enoch's down. That's going to finish him off. And Constantine, the last man standing. His Team Liquid goes big on G2.
Samty's knocked 2 on his own, and the backline. We were saying for ages he would have sat here doing nothing, but all of a sudden he stepped up and stabbed G2 in the back. How much more damage can he do on that kill feed?
M19 done and dusted. Here's TSM. They're trying to make the move. They've actually gone into Monte Nuevo. No, they rotated away from FaZe Clan. But meanwhile, you can see in the kill feed, G2 will go down in 14th place. And that's time for teams to try and step it up. Samty will bleed out. And now Winstrike putting the pressure down. 13th for those as they continue to fall. Team Liquid in trouble. Ibby's going to get Jempty back on his feet. Or is he? That's risky as Winstrike push the hill.
Jorski ticks up and over we go. That nade does the damage. Mexi steals one as well while we're looking at that kill feed. So FaZe having a bit of a time of their life at the moment by just picking off individuals. While all this has gone down, TSM has managed to take the backside of Monty Nuevo. There's not much cover for them now. Once they leave there, NIP in front of them. We got CrowCrowd, we got ENCE. Everybody still has to make the way inside the circle. And then all of a sudden we have Red Diamonds and Jokers. Finally, the circle doesn't go their way and forces them to the other side of the road, where we have Na'Vi set up, ready, and still waiting with open arms to collect all these kills.
Yeah, okay, Senyu's going to try and go for it on the bike here. I don't know whether it's going to work. TSM and NIP clashing. Monty Nuevo's side as you see Wookie getting down there. FaZe Clan still sitting fairly comfortable with Winstrike in the north. Winstrike, they came out on top somehow with 4 alive in that absolute mess that was happening on the hillsides, and that leaves their backs completely free. VOD will flush out Wookie. TSM down to 2. Maybe down to 1, Michael. Going for it. That nade's going to follow through. They've just gone to the ditch. Oh, Miracle, where did you just get tapped from? That's Uber up on the hills. FaZe Clan getting involved.
Yeah, that's the problem with that position is that it's very exposed. Even when Miracle wants to try and make something happen, he'll be getting tapped up from his right-hand side. FaZe are in a really cracking spot here because now they can move up top. Raise Your Edge is gone. They're down. They're dead. CrowCrowd still, if they can flush out 6 more.
They flushed DA out.
But it comes down to 6 more. And again, we keep speaking about it, Lee. These last individual solo players, these snakes that you were just allowed to stay alive, cause so many problems in the late game because not only do you have to worry about them, but if they knock one of your team, they throw all your plans into the wind.
Michael, the last man standing for TSM. NIP will find him in a second once that smoke dissipates. They're trying to use it to give themselves cover from FaZe Clan up on high. They will find the headshot now. They've got to worry about FaZe on the hill. But CrowCrowd, what a great move for them to get in there and keep Digital Athletics out of their compound. Oh no, Jokers, what just happened to you? They tried to go for it and they've ran each other over. That's not what you need as they come ditching in. Mikas might find a big nade here. A doozy does that nade. Oh, it's just gone off to the side. That could have been an ender right there.
I mean, they have a couple of rocks to play with, but really, much more they can do apart from play for survivability. You'll have the smokes. You'll commit the utility to the cause. Oh, that's on its last legs. Yep, Sadovnik picks up a doozy, instas him because of the vehicle going up. And best of luck, the blue might solidify his placement here. Yep. Job done. 9th position for the Red Diamonds. FaZe
have turned their attention to the north now. They need to worry about Winstrike. And you remember, obviously, they had that battle previously on Miramar with Winstrike coming out on top. FaZe Clan on the hillside. You can see Mikas. He went looking for these kills. They've pushed for it, ENCE. They're coming over the road. They're using Rustamar also making the move over. So it's sitting quite comfortably in this 2-2 split. ENCE on the southern side of the circle. We haven't mentioned, look at Batulin. Batulin from Na'Vi actually went to that shack, which could be a massive play because he's gone solo to that shack to try and keep the points sorted. Meanwhile, FaZe and Winstrike, they have to fight in the hill now.
And still have a vehicle. I mean, it would be deadly to try and run a vehicle this late in the game. They could use it for cover though, just move it into a position, punch the tires. FaZe finally making their maneuver. Winstrike already have eyes on the prize, but ENCE has the off angle. They do have the height advantage, but FaZe will be able to, again, it's a hill with a huge drop off here, so they'll have to go around it and traverse that cliff face. FaZe are going to get pretty much in the best position here, give themselves lines of sight on players below them, but also enough of a defilade to move back off the plateau and deny any line of sight back onto them.
Jorski just hammering down on NIP there. They've got an angle on everyone from these hills, but the problem is, they're a little slow in their movement. They're trying to collect as many kills as they can. Sadovnik trying to do what he can as well. And ENCE, oh, they're in trouble in the hillside. They went aggressive for this push. And it's kind of backfired. That's Batulin. Batulin was in the shack, remember? Yep. He made the move down in that shack. The nade works out. Sadovnik confirms the kills. Possible big round for Na'Vi here. 5 kills and counted. Winstrike and FaZe still positioning for one another on the hillside. That's MBS getting taken out, so NIP down in 8th place. Looks like the Jokers may well be following in a moment. Jorski, what did you just do? I think you dropped too far.
Oh, no, no, no. It's all going wrong here.
FaZe are getting caught out. You can see, look at this Tixu from above. He's going to get flushed out. ENCE, how was there no reply there? He's peeking over the top there. I don't think Mexi had an angle on him. Meanwhile, we see ENCE. They're going to go down in 6th place. The Jokers went down in 7th. So now we're down to the top 5 once again. Digital Athletics, remember, 4th place. They've had a 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Can they get a 4th?
I'm really surprised, really surprised he managed to get a pick there. Looking straight down. I just didn't think.
Na'Vi coming up the hillside and FaZe Clan. Pokemon, he's going to be right on top of them.
Angle, but speaking of angles, up and over we go. FaZe Clan, time to open up because Na'Vi are here. Time to wake up.
Uber finds one. FaZe looks around the side. Oh, that's a big old hit and recurrent. He's going to have to back away from that one. Next, he tries to get involved. Winstrike, look above. They're going to come around the side. The nades are going back and forward, and Winstrike can just benefit from all of this.
Good angle from Mexi. The hillsides in front of him will also deny those nades and actually give him a bit of a denial of line of sight. Uber and FaZe can stay there for now and hold point because those nades won't be able to get him around the corner unless they hit that little ramp. Oh, imagine if that molly actually... Imagine if it works. Imagine if that molly works. Oh my, that could have been a 9,000 IQ play. So close.
Where's Dimmy's nade going? That's going into the smoke. It's caught Recrent. It's caught Recrent down low. Second one comes down. It's chucked a little too high. Well, keep your eye on Nuki as well. CrowCrowd taking pot shots on Winstrike, but the circle has shifted away from everyone. Batulin's play to get to this shack has suddenly paid dividends.
He can feed this information for Na'Vi, but he needs Na'Vi to do some work and really kick the hell, honestly, out of FaZe because they're still allowed to just do whatever they want at the foot of the hillside. For Winstrike, it's a bit of a difficult maneuver because they have to traverse this terrain. They have to do the drops and the jumps and everything else to get down.
Coming. Batulin's telling his teammates they're dropping down behind you.
To Na'Vi, and it's basically a Shark Tank, right?
It's Pokemon. He's sat ready and waiting. Then they go. They drop down. Tixu. What? He got on one of their bikes. He stole a Na'Vi bike and got out of there. How did that work out?
I think
now Uber's been taken down and FaZe Clan, well, they're getting shot to hell right now as Sadovnik tries to push on, but Winstrike will save them. But how long? FaZe are going to get pressure now. It's Winstrike's turn to push them.
He actually brought the bike down from the hillside. He biked it off the edge and managed to get an angle on them so that he could pick up the kills. FaZe has still got 2 up, so we can't write them off just yet. But again, if Tixu gets back here, it'll be safety in numbers, but it depends if he can get to that point because Batulin can still see them. And again, this shack, it's just worth its weight in gold right now.
FaZe are backed away. They're going to flush around, but they're going in towards CrowCrowd. 6mo still sitting against that bush. FaZe tossing nades down to CrowCrowd now. Trying to make sure they're not getting pressured from behind. Winstrike continue their pressure. So they toss a couple of nades out. Mexi's gone low. He's gone looking for Nuki. Batulin, you can see, still holding the angle. The solo Na'Vi player now.
It depends what else is really left on that edge for FaZe Clan. It also depends how many smokes they have, because if they want to try and make a forcible maneuver onto it, they have to smoke that building out where CrowCrowd are and deny them any line of sight straight uphill, because they will demolish them if they come running down the mountain.
Well, when you're thinking of, obviously, chasing points, you know, these are games that FaZe need to continue to do well, and they've got the placements, they've got the kills, but they need more points here. They're in the blue, they're getting pressured. You can see FaZe has to push. 6mo's going to suddenly pop out of nowhere, and that's going to surprise them, and they will go down. FaZe Clan in 5th place. Winstrike take them out once again. 6mo watched it all play out. Good discipline for not taking a shot there.
Tixu now will hold the left-hand side, just to see where those bullets are coming from. He got the tracer fire, so he's very aware that there is a team still lingering up this hillside with them. Obviously, 6mo not giving away his position yet, but he'll know that that compound is a very busy one. Batulin still chilling. He's got his little forceful hut here.
Tixu's gone back down. Is he going for that bike? No, he's spotted Batulin.
Oh, he tagged him as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to say maybe he was just holding patience and waiting around the angle, but he actually stepped out and tagged him.
Smokes from CrowCrowd. Winstrike going to look for him, and Tixu battered down by Magister. And that might be a chance for everyone to make their move. CrowCrowd will get across. They've reached the hay bale stack compound, so they should be safe now. Set's in there, and he's going to have his eyes on Winstrike.
I'm surprised Batulin is giving up the smokes now, unless he's not. No, he's still inside the circle.
He's took shots on them before, so they know, they're well aware of his position, so it's... He's not giving information. It's just Timmy, though, is sending it. Where's he going to go? He's looking for a hay bale, seeing if he can get there quick enough. Batulin has to land one of these shots. Now's the time. Oh, but he got in, and that's exposed his position. Yeah, instantly gets inside the shack.
That's probably why he was pre-smoking down, in case he had to retreat and just go around the corner.
It's 4th. They've had a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Slowly going down. Down but not out. Winstrike, they are split. Timmy can at least control Batulin and keep him under wraps if he has to. But it comes down to what can Dream for You do with this M24.
If they really want to go for it, they could smoke this and push Batulin's shack here. It's very easy for them to do. The problem is, then it clusters them all too close, and Winstrike will just be third partying like crazy. So they really need to get themselves something on like Tixu here, who's kind of exposing himself on the top of this hill.
It is, but he'll hold a point. I mean, it was a really good play from Timmy to move over to there, especially to try and keep control of Batulin, because now...
Look how quick they back away. They were both out by that hay bale. 2 taps, and they instantly, all 3 of them ran back to the hay bale.
The thing is, for CrowCrowd, they're the ones that have to move, and they're the ones that have to expose themselves first.
For me, Timmy is the winner right here because he has this angle. Everybody else is all crowded in this spot. Timmy just has the angle to watch them all play out. Set's going for it. Look at Set. Look at the Set flank.
They're splitting up.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Timmy's cross angle completely catches him off. Brilliant.
And they split up individually.
Yeah.
CrowCrowd have completely fallen to bits here.
Batulin found out, though. Magister will get him down, so it's just going to be 3rd place for Na'Vi, and it's going to be CrowCrowd down in 2nd. It will be Winstrike, unless Magister does something spectacular with 11 hit points. Nookie will find him. We may have had a surprise at the damage we saw from Red Diamonds in the last game, but Winstrike played that one to perfection from the hillside. They were battering everyone from up on high. They dropped down.